Hi there, we are Jeff and Heather Carter, and we currently own Basecamp, event venue, restaurant, and future resort. We're located just a mile from the Passion Play, very close to downtown, in the heart of Eureka Springs. We have been married for over 30 years, and we've been entrepreneurs and been in business for ourselves almost that entire time. We opened a company in 2000 called Carter's Audio Video, and that was an audio video integration company and production company. So we did, for over 20 years, we did live production for concerts. We did a lot of integration for conference rooms, for churches, lighting systems, video systems, projection systems. We worked with some of the companies around Arkansas installing conference room systems, control systems in homes, and a lot of things like that. In 2018, as we were getting older and our kids were starting to move out of the house, we started thinking about what we wanted to do for the rest of our lives. We've always enjoyed and loved the hospitality industry. We had moved to Rogers in 2014.
I think the question everybody wants to know is, what happened to Eureka Springs Coffee House?
Okay, so let me jump ahead then to 2018. Do you want to talk about the coffee house at all?
I think that's what most people are going here.
Okay, now let's try.
The Eureka Springs Coffee House, and what happened to the coffee house, and why did we close the coffee house, and why we invested and changed kind of what we're doing in our strategy as business owners. And so what are we doing? What's the goal? What happened downtown, and where are we now?
Do you have those answers? Go
Nope.
ahead.
So Eureka Springs Coffee House was amazing. Like, we bought the building 2019, right?
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get it right. May of 2019.
Okay.
Spent all of 2019 really in renovations and restoring the building and painting the building and just all of the stuff, the neglect of the building that just had been a long time since it had really been gone through. So we spent that first, really all of 2019 to get to a place where we could open, which was the Eureka Springs Coffee House. We opened it. Soft opening was August
of 2019.
Soft opening was August of 2019. We had no idea what to expect. We had no idea what we were doing. We just came and bought a old building and dug in, worked hard, renovated, and I guess we made some good choices and some bad.
Yeah, our experience was not really in the restaurant business at all. We had quite a bit of experience, I think, in renovations.
Yeah.
And we knew how to do that.
Yeah. We knew how to put on a tool belt and fix stuff.
We moved here with our kids, both of our kids, and then we also had several family members come and help us that summer, and we worked like crazy for 3 months trying to get the property ready so we could open the coffee shop in downtown.
Yeah, let's talk about the building. We bought the building, we moved in, and if you remember that summer, it rained almost every day, and the roof was leaking so bad, we were literally changing buckets out of the attic.
Mm-hmm.
We were dumping buckets in the attic and in the floor every time it would rain. So it was high priority for a roof. That was really literally the first big project that we did, was put a brand new roof on the building. As a matter of fact, it was leaking so bad, the roofing company was 90 days out, and they moved us to the front of the line because ours was the worst project that they had lined up. And so we went to emergency status and God bless them for helping us, because we were in desperate need of a roof. And so they came in, put a new roof on, and that was kind of the beginning of the repairs and restoration of what we know as the Greenlee building.
Yeah.
The Greenlee building in 11 North Main was the building that Neil Walters had been there with circus posters in the 40s and 50s. And then the Greenlees had been there. They bought the building in the mid-60s and owned it till 2008, maybe?
I think it was around 2008.
And so we just really took on what we really didn't know how much we were taking on at the time. It was a process. Every day we were learning what was bad and what needed to be repaired, what couldn't even be repaired, and what just had to be replaced.
Yeah.
And that was the process for the first.
Yeah. And I think we were really lucky at the beginning as a family to be able to find a property that had a house upstairs. And it had a house up on the top floor, and then the main floor, street level, was the retail area, and we really loved that. And so that was why we ended up buying it, is so we could have both in one location.
Right.
Now, so for those of you that are currently business owners, you know that that's kind of a blessing and a curse all at the same time.
Yeah. Can't get away. It's nice to be able to be close, but then you can't get away.
So we did a lot of work and a lot of renovations on that. We really completely transformed the main floor of the restaurant. We put in a kitchen, basically, that was not there to start with.
Didn't come at first, came during COVID.
We'd do that later.
So just to give you guys...
We had a bakery area, but not...
We opened the coffee house in 2019, and about the time that we were kind of like, okay, we own a coffee house.
This is good.
And then COVID crashes the planet, essentially. And so we were in the middle of that and trying to navigate. We still owned our integration company.
At that time.
We were still running an integration company and still designing and installing audio video systems. So we still had that, which was a whole nother layer of, I guess, COVID issues. We survived them all. But during that time, during COVID, well, whenever things were really, the market really changed a lot, and we were getting a lot of requests for more food. The demand was extremely heavy downtown Eureka for more food. Mm-hmm. So we decided to kind of double down, even in the middle of COVID, and go, okay, we're going to go ahead and try to meet the need for the food. So renovated again, redid the entire kitchen again, but this time we went and put in the full vent hood and all the equipment and stuff required in order to cook any kind of food we wanted to cook.
Yeah, we did. We made that upgrade. When we had opened that before pre-COVID, we were doing primarily just coffee, baked goods, sandwiches, stuff that didn't require the vent hood. And then during COVID, what was interesting during COVID was we still had quite a few visitors in town, even though everything was shut down, because we have so many amazing outdoor spaces in Eureka. We really are in the middle of this amazing place where there's 2 lakes that are short distance. We have the river, we have the bike trails, hiking trails. All of those outdoor spaces were still really drawing a lot of people here. And that's really probably what drew us initially, was we loved being able to be in the middle of a lot of this stuff that we enjoy doing ourselves. And so there was a lot of visitors in town, and they just didn't have a place to go or a place to eat. And so they would come by and pick up food and go sit in some of the amazing park areas that we have in town and eat. And then once things began to reopen, Eureka was really busy.
Eureka was busy.
Very busy.
Good rebound for COVID. We were a safe place. Mm-hmm. During the time of COVID. Everything was pretty much outside. It was pretty safe to come to Eureka, and a lot of people did.
They did.
Yeah.
What was interesting about the building at 11 North Main is that every time we would kind of start a project, we would find more things that need to be done. And that's pretty typical of a historic building. There is a lot of things that are amazing about restoring a historic property, and you kind of have to love it. You kind of have to want to do it. But to see something be transformed, to be able to tear out old things that are causing damage to a building, like rotten floorboards, rotten carpet, smelly carpet. I can't even tell you all the stuff that we did. We took a lot of the flooring where the bathrooms are in that building way down to original wood that was put in the 1800s. So in that building, there is ink on the floor from whenever the poster printing company was in there in the 1940s and 50s, the Neil Walters Company. And it's pretty interesting when you go down in the basement. It was in the floor where we tore some stuff out to build our restrooms that were in there. And the ink runs down onto some of the concrete pillars that are in the basement. So that's there's a lot of neat features about that.
A lot of history there. The building.
There's a lot of history, yeah.
So the ink they had these printing presses, and the ink would spill onto the floor. So there was all of this ink where we were cleaning up. We had to clean all that up. There was all this ink, but it also ran through the floor and onto some of the concrete supports in the building. And so there's these ink stains down in the basement that are pretty unique, pretty distinctive what they are, from Neil Walters and his time there. Yeah.
When we were there a couple of years, some of the Greenleaf family started to come and visit us, and we would hear stories about the building. And at one time, there was access to the creek from underneath there, which it's rocked up now, but sometimes you could feel a draft blowing through down there in the basement.
So for those of you that don't know, there's actually creeks that run underneath the building on that side of the street there at 11 North Main, 9 North Main. All of those have water that flow underneath the buildings. And our particular building, the creek actually, and we believe that this was probably done by Neil Walters, but the creek has been concreted over. So it's actually been capped. That creek has been capped underneath the building. So there's not any water that comes up through the creek and into that building, but it's all been redone.
So when we purchased that building downtown and we put the coffee house, I knew that a coffee shop had the ability to bring people together. But I don't think I really fully realized on what level until we were actually there every day and we were working. And we made a commitment to be open 7 days a week in downtown Eureka Springs, which is very unheard of. And it was difficult. It was a difficult decision that we made. It was difficult to manage it at times. But we committed to it. And the entire time we were down there, we stayed open other than, I think we were closed on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day. We had a lot of people come through. I remember the very first Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving that we were open, we had a couple who came from New York, and he was actually a diplomat. He had a diplomat card, which I had never seen before, and he stayed in there and talked to us for a long time. There wasn't anybody else in there. And what was funny about them, what was interesting, they flew to Arkansas because they wanted to go to the Bill Clinton Museum. And then they rented a car. So they flew into Little Rock, rented a car, and they were just driving around. And they ended up at the coffee house downtown the night before Thanksgiving. And we sat in there and talked to him for a long time. And he was from Italy. And so it was really neat. And I kind of started to realize at that point, just really how much we had access to a lot of different people coming in and out all the time. And it just kind of put a drive in us to want to serve people more and more, and just really enjoying that hospitality industry, and serving people through food and through drink. And then also serving our staff, bringing people in and training them and working with them and just trying to set up a good product in downtown.
Yeah, we met a lot of amazing people over the 5.5 years at the coffee house. Every walk of life, from every state, from countries all over the world. We just had this great opportunity to visit with people that we otherwise just wouldn't have had. And so I personally am just very grateful for all of those conversations, all those people that came through, that shared a cup of coffee, a scrambled egg, or whatever it was. And that really honestly will go down for me as what was really special about the coffee house. Getting people to come in and sharing about the building and sharing the history of the building and sharing, the doors on the ceiling, which was very unique to us and to our property. And so that will go down for me as what was the best of times.
Yes.
For the coffee house.
Another thing that really stands out in my mind is just during COVID, some of the locals that would come in every single day and see us. We've really built some relationships, and a couple of those people don't even live here. They have houses here, but they're back home. One gentleman in particular, we really built a good relationship with him, and it was fun to kind of see some of those same people every day during that season when everybody was a little stressed and a little scared, and building a few relationships of people during that time was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Too, and we like seeing even some of those same people up here, I think, as they come in and say hi. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so the question is what happened? We loved it. We kept doing it, right? We loved it. Here's what happened. So we were looking to do more downtown. We bought some other properties, and we wanted to do more downtown. And we actually had bought a little piece of property up on Passion Play. We were just trying to expand and be better business people and invest more in the community. That's what we were doing. And then really just completely out of the blue, we had no idea this was going to happen to us. We had no idea what was happening. We were contacted and offered to buy this building that we're in now in Passion Play Road. We're at 150 Passion Play Road. This was a church, and we were contacted and to see if we were interested in buying the building in 15 acres. And wow, we just said yes. Didn't have any idea what we would even do.
We didn't even know what we were getting into.
Had no clue.
But we didn't even hesitate. We were like, yes.
Yeah, okay. But that put us in personally. That put us in a position where we were stretched farther than we'd ever been stretched, and so it becomes difficult when you're stretched maybe farther than you're comfortable to be able to do everything at the level that you want to do, right? And so we were not really able to 100% focus on the projects downtown and the house that we have and those projects and the new Basecamp project, right? That project, all of it together was really a lot. So there became a point where we had to make a decision on what we would prune. Something would have to get pruned on our vine so that other things could become bigger and healthier, so to speak, if that makes any sense at all. So that became what the process was, is what do we let go of? And kind of unfortunately, the coffee house became this is what we need to let go of in order to be able to really move forward with Basecamp and with building the cabins and having more nightly rentals and having the restaurant, the venue, all the stuff that we want to do here.
But we tried.
Well, we did.
We tried to do both. Oh, sorry. It's me. Get on.
Got a little phone call for Basecamp. Business is coming in.
So we were approached for this property to purchase it, and we weren't planning it or expecting it, and we just decided to dive in. And
at first,
that's exactly what we like to do. We're like, yes, and then figure it out later, right?
Jump in, figure it out later.
Because
we don't break our neck.
So we bought this, and then we started we renovated the kitchen into a commercial kitchen, and we opened the restaurant.
So we bought it, and then we're like, what are we gonna do with it?
I know. We're like, it's got to make money.
What are we gonna do with it?
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with it? We've literally talked about every possible thing that we could do with it. Yeah. Even just hey, let's just live here. It's a pretty cool place. Let's just live here. Yeah. Let's just put a couch right there and be done with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Well, they already had the coffee shop in here. So the coffee shop was here. We had done that business, so we knew. And we thought, well, we'll open that and see how it goes.
So this was a church before, and the church had a little ministry coffee shop in here. And we had visited and come by, and you could come in and get a cup of coffee, and they would talk to you about Jesus or pray for you or whatever. It was great. Like, we actually really liked it. And so we got it, and like, well, we already do coffee. That's something we know how to do, and it was already set up for coffee. And so we kind of did that for a while.
So we did, but we converted, the kitchen was just residential. We converted it completely over to commercial.
Yeah, we gutted the kitchen. I mean, we've done a ton of work up here since.
Oh, yeah, we did. I mean, I would say we've done as much work almost as we did downtown.
Oh, for sure.
We decided to tear down a wall and realized the concrete wasn't finished on the floor. We had to go rent a concrete sander, and that is the biggest mess in all eternity. So if you ever decide between sanding concrete yourself or hiring somebody, just put carpet down. Let me just say that. So anyway, we did that, and then it's just funny kind of, I think, how our process works. So we actually opened as a restaurant here, and we were doing both for a minute. But I even remember, like, I'm sitting here looking at our glass garage door that we have on the wall, which was not there. And then you were looking on Facebook one day, and you're like, hey, there's a garage door for sale on Facebook. I'm going to send the guy to go get it.
I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a scam. I didn't think it was real. I messaged the guy on Facebook, and I said, hey, is this real? And he didn't reply. And I told Heather, I said, that's a scam. There's no way that glass garage door, because this is during kind of at the end of COVID.
End of COVID, yeah.
And you couldn't hardly buy stuff. It was hard to buy stuff. And I'm like, garage door's not even real. That's fake. Somebody's pulling my chain. So finally, a couple of days later, the guy messaged me. He said, yeah, it's real. And so I called a local guy, and I said, hey, can you go get this garage door? And he went and got it and brought it over here and hung it up. And man, it's wonderful.
With no, he didn't cut the hole right away. So
we didn't cut the hole. We were chickens.
Yeah.
We got it cut now, though. It's out over there. It's beautiful.
Oh,
and the patio's done.
Yeah.
The deck's done. The patio's done.
So we had the restaurant open for almost a year. So we bought this in 2022, right? March of 2022. Yeah, because it's been 3 years now. And
I don't know if that's right.
So what happened was...
I don't know when we bought it.
Yeah, it's been 3 years, almost exactly.
Okay, 3 years.
And the coffee house downtown was getting insanely busy. And so we just had to make a decision. We got to a point where we were really struggling with doing both. And the coffee house downtown was really, really busy. So we made the decision to go to events only here. And we moved all of our staff from here down there.
We needed staff.
We needed staff downtown. And so we moved everybody down there. And we just went to events only here. And that was in the fall of 2022, I think. And so basically for the last 2 years, we've just run events here, and it's actually done pretty well. And we've been doing some projects here and there, but all along our heart's desire has been to be up here full time.
Right.
And so that was when we just decided knew we were going to have to do one or the other. And so we put the coffee house building up for sale, and it was for sale for a year.
Well, there's some things up here that we have that don't have downtown. We have parking.
Yeah.
We have our very own parking.
We have 15.
We have a nice, convenient parking where you can pull right up to the front door.
It's amazing. And we have a trolley stop if you just happen to...
You have a trolley stop right there. So we do have, there's some things that are pretty nice. We have a modern new building. It's not historic, which is also very nice. A lot less maintenance, a lot less repairs. There's some benefits to being in a new building.
And I think that we really want to host people on a more grand scale. And so the idea of being able to build cabins up here, to have our own events where people can stay and eat and do things here, have more of a destination, add some parks, add some trails, add some fun things is really what we want to do. And so
let's do it.
Our focus is to get up here full time. And so we sold the building. And we moved up here and we started working. We brought our staff with us and started working on menu. We've done a lot of work on the property. We bought new tables and chairs. We did a whole new menu up here. We want to do a better quality, higher end menu. And so we are doing that. And we're kind of slow rolling it because we want to make sure that the quality's good and everything's good and that we're fixing our processes in the process,
In the process.
And we're not getting overwhelmed and making too many mistakes. So we're taking our time.
We opened in the dead of winter.
We did.
We opened up the restaurant in the dead of winter in the middle of the slowest time in Eureka Springs intentionally so that we could work through processes and work through menu, work through making sure that we had fresh, we have fresh fish, never frozen. I mean, all these little things that we're doing here that we didn't really do in the coffee house. I think it's what we want. I think we're just doing what we want.
We are doing what we want. I think in a lot of ways we feel like this is our house. It's almost like an extension of us, and you're coming into our dining room basically, and we want to be able to host you. And in order to do that, it does require some sacrifices. Like we're only open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
For now, that'll change.
And we want to make sure we have good staff in here. So we're just doing things a little slower. And sometimes people maybe don't understand all the decisions that we make. But part of it is because we want to have a good process. We want to have a good quality experience. We want to have an amazing place that you can come and sit at and enjoy your time with your family, your friends, your loved ones, whoever it is that you're bringing up here. That's really important to us. And so we have some amazing outdoor spaces. We have plans for some amazing outdoor spaces. And so we've been really busy with receptions and rehearsal dinners right now. We're doing a lot of even larger group private events. We're getting calls for a lot of that stuff. And so.
Yeah, we just had a birthday party in here.
And some people don't
kind of fun. Everybody brings all their parties to us.
Yeah.
We just get to hang out in all their parties.
We did. We like karaoke the best. So the next time you come and you want to rent and have an event here, bring in a DJ with karaoke so we can all sing. We have plans right now. So we're building cabins out. We have plans. We worked on these plans for at least 2 years. We're doing, basically, it's kind of a 2-bedroom setup.
2-bedroom.
We want them to be a little bit bigger. There's a lot of smaller units in Eureka Springs already. And so we want to be able to have units where families can stay together or 2 couples can stay together in the same place. So that's what we're focusing on. They're going to fit the aesthetic up here, be kind of a rustic, not a cabin, but something a little bit more modern.
Big windows, modern cabin, big windows. They're appearing being built, so they're up off the ground.
They're going to have some amazing windows to be able to look into the woods. We'll have a water feature down below them. This is just phase 1 that we're working on.
Just working on phase 1.
We are wanting to put a little dog park over here on the side and some trails. If you come and eat on our deck, then your dog can run around the little dog park. That's what we want to be able to do. So we have a lot of plans for that kind of stuff.
We got more plans now than we got time to execute.
I know, it's true.
One thing at a time. So that's it. That's Basecamp. That's where we're headed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what we're focused on. It's kind of what this whole video is about, is us just telling you what happened. We really want to see all of you that come to the coffee house. We appreciate you. We want to see you here. We want to see you back in Eureka Springs. Come see us. Come see our new space. We still have coffee. We're doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. Still doing Onyx coffee in the mornings, very high-end specialty coffee. We're doing lunch. It's fresh made every day. And then, of course, we have dinner. So we have kind of this select menu that we're doing all day, currently 3 days a week. That will expand as the season expands. We'll expand that to more days.
So when we came up here and really started looking at, some of you may remember back when we opened the first time, we had pizzas primarily, and I loved our pizzas. They were really good. But we really started putting down some ideas on...
We can still do pizza if people want it. Sorry, no more pizza.
Don't tell the chef. No. So we really started talking about our menu and what we wanted it to be here. We met with our staff. They have been with us. They were with us at the coffee house, so they're very familiar with the whole breakfast brunch model that we had down there, but that was a different experience. Up here, we wanted it to be slower. We wanted it to be a lot more homemade. And really, so stuff that we liked, and what does Eureka Springs not have that we can bring? And one of the big things that kept coming up was the seafood, and we love seafood. We've traveled on both coasts and always have good experiences, fish and chips and eating lobster. And those of you who are familiar with those coastal towns, no, we don't have lobster. I'm sorry. Maybe someday. But we have, and so we made this decision to fly fresh fish in every week. And we've started just with salmon and cod. And so we have a really good salmon that we're bringing in from Scotland. It's a Scottish salmon. And then we also have a cod that we're flying in for fish and chips. And we also do a fish taco that's really good. And we hope to expand on that. It is fresh, though, never frozen. And then we have a really amazing filet. And we went to a food show and saw this really amazing pork ribeye that we just kind of fell in love with. Pork chop. I mean, it's just, I feel like when you say it's a pork chop, that doesn't even do it justice, because it's way more than a pork chop, and it's amazing. And we're doing some everything that we're doing, our sauces and all that stuff are house made, and so we want people to have a good experience. So our menu's small, but everything that we're making is very much from scratch and quality. We want to make sure it's quality.
We could talk about some of the decor. We really wanted kind of this earthy wood, a lot of wood, a lot of greenery. We've got a whole bunch of new greenery in the building. We want more greenery. Heather and I traditionally are not been very good with plants. It's not one of our giftings. And so we have to rely a little bit on some of our staff to help us keep everything green. But that's kind of the vibe that we want. We want it to feel very...
Well, we want the outside to come in.
Yeah,
we want it to
absolutely. So
the woods.
Believe it or not, this was a decision that actually was harder for us than I thought it would be, and that's the tables. Mm-hmm. Tables was a hard decision. What were we going to actually sit down and eat on every day? And so we looked at granite and just couldn't get, it just doesn't have the right feel or the look. And we struggled with all kinds of different granites. And then we're like looking at quartz and we're like, oh, it's nice, but it's not necessarily us or not necessarily our space. So essentially we built our own. We got oak and hickory wood, and we cut and built our own tables. They are a lot like what we had at the countertops at the coffee house. They just have this really nice soft tone for the space. We love them. We hope that you guys will love them too.
Yeah. We spent way too much time and ordered way too many samples trying to make them.
We argued a lot over those tables, but I think we're happy with what we ended up doing.
Yeah, it's turned out really good. I've been really happy with what we did, what we decided on this.
Yeah, so Basecamp marketing, branding, it's been an area that we've not really been great.
I mean, we struggled with that since we bought it.
Just an overall branding. Well, just in general in our branding, for whether it be for our other companies or for the coffee house. I thought the coffee house branding was really good, but I don't think it was. Wouldn't give myself anything more than a B- on the overall branding, right?
Well, yeah, there were some things that we struggled with. I think the branding was good initially, but as we changed what we were doing, we had some problems.
Branding is just so huge. It's
really important.
It's super important, and so we really liked the name Basecamp here. Basecamp really kind of insinuates this is a place that you go to get this, the supplies that you need, to kind of fuel up, to get ready for your adventure, whatever it is. And we wanted to be that source. We wanted to be a place where if you're just going out for the trails, you could come and you could get a cup of coffee on your way to the trails. And then after you're done at the trails, you could stop by and, set in some soft seating and have another cup of coffee, or you could get a really nice sandwich.
Local beer from
sit around, So we really just wanted to have this vibe of, it's a place where you can kind of on your journey, right? Basecamp is a place where while you're on your journey, it's a place you stop. We just kind of wanted to be that, right? That's what we wanted to be. And so we had our original logo, and that was kind of the original concept. But as we have rebranded, we kind of tweaked it a little, just made some subtle differences, redid our outdoor sign, redid some of our indoor signage, and we have new cards, and we have new rack cards.
We had some amazing help with that, by the way.
We had some amazing help. We have really struggled with working with people in the past when it just come to branding and just anyway, we worked with a guy. He was fantastic. We will somehow post out his information for people, or you can message us and you can get in contact with this guy. He did a really good job.
He did. He was so easy.
Helping us and listening to our needs and what we wanted on how to tweak what we'd already had to kind of make it fit where we were going, make it a little bit more of a classy feel. He did a really good job. We're real happy with the branding. And look, if you guys don't like it, let us know. We'll be glad to not change it.
We're not changing.
That's what I said. We'll be glad not to change it. Because it's hard.
Just come in and eat some fish and chips and you'll never be unhappy again.
Amen. Amen. Okay. So branding is huge and a big deal, and it's not easy. Let's just leave it at that. Not easy.
I mean, really starting a business, it's not easy. And however much work you think that you're going to do, add a times 10 or a times 100 on the end of that, and you're bringing yourself more to reality on that, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. Sometimes you can spend less money if you're willing to work even more. But for us, our lifestyle and other people that we know that are entrepreneurs, there's a lot of value. It's worth it in the end if you enjoy that kind of lifestyle, but it can be a lot of work. But then we sit in this place and we see this amazing place that we're building, and people are actually coming here and we get to talk to them and visit with them and sometimes eat with them. That's an amazing experience. It makes a lot of it worth it. And then we can look back and laugh on the days that our sinuses are inflamed from concrete dust, because we see what it is now, and that's an amazing experience. And I feel like we've been in business now for probably close to 30 years. We've been working together as entrepreneurs, and that is always the best part of it, is kind of seeing the end result with people that you're working with one-on-one, whether it was our AV company or here. I feel like we get to have more personal experiences in the restaurant business than we did in the AV business, but we're very thankful for the relationships that we built in all the years of the AV company that we had, and feel like we learned a lot through that helped us transition to here. So I would say keep an eye on our social media pages. We're constantly posting what we're doing. We hope to host more events here ourselves moving forward.
Obviously We want to do events here. We want to do lots of events here. If you have ideas for events, send them to us. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we want to do more here, and so we want to work with people that are coming into town and even locals on the stuff that they're trying to do and promote and host. And we have the space, and so we want to be able to utilize it. And we're hoping to have the initial phase A of cabins ready when?
Well, we're
say September, October.
We can say it. We can say whatever we want. That doesn't make it
If
really.
you decide you want to prepay for some nights, just no, I'm kidding.
We have permits for the cabins now. We're
Yeah.
Digging dirt, and we hope to see some framing going up. I mean, hopefully next time you guys are in town, you'll see cabins being framed up, or even maybe in the dry. It's currently raining today, so no one's working, but we're gonna just work every day and try to get it done as fast as we can.
So we're currently open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We open at 8 a.m. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do close from 4 to 5 for prep for dinner, and then we close at 9 o'clock. That's our hours for right now. We hope as we get more into season to be able to expand those, to be open earlier, stay open later. We are planning on some brunch ideas for some holiday weekends and things like that. We try to keep all that stuff posted out on our social media pages, events that we're doing and all that. So just follow us for the more detailed and accurate information. You can also call us at any time or text us at 479-244-8004. So we have, our building is 4,600 square feet total. We have a room in the back. This building used to be a church, and so we have an event space in the back that's pretty big. It'll seat about 100 comfortably. We've done a few more in there, and that's just that room by itself. If you rent the entire facility, we can seat more people in here. So right now, we pretty much have it split into two spaces. We have the front area, which is the restaurant space, and then we have the back room, which is reserved for events. And it has a little stage back there. It has a little sound system. It has a buffet area where we can serve buffet food on the bar. And it has done really well for receptions and rehearsal dinners. And we're so thankful to be able to be connected to Thorn Crown Chapel. They've sent some people over here, and that's been a blessing. We've been able to host several receptions from Thorn Crown Chapel. We added the deck last year and opened it up in October. We had some events on it, and we're expanding that. If you just want to rent the deck, we have that available as well. If you want information on hosting an event here, you can go on our website, basecampeureka.com, and fill out the contact form that's on that page, and it'll come to me, and I'll send you back our online brochure, which has all the details and all the pricing. And you can also schedule a call with me, or if you want a site visit, you can schedule that as well. We would love to talk to you about your event. We're very excited about the opportunity to host some car clubs and stuff that are coming this year. So if you're coming with a group to Eureka Springs, whether it's a family reunion, you're just meeting friends, or you just have a large group, or you have a car show, or whatever that might be, we're definitely interested in trying to work with you. We've done some cars and coffee events up here. We love being able to have that parking available to do that. We're just right down the street from the Passion Play, so being able to host lunches and stuff is something that we're excited about doing this year. So we hope to see you or hear from you.